racetrack. Racetrack Sports Car Championship race coming up in just a few minutes. Let's hear it, folks. In the house, we're going to run through the order a little bit later. But just so everybody knows, this is our third race of the season. We've seen a little domination from Team Penske in those Porsches, but the BMW's on pole here this weekend.
Yes.
It's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out. Master Sullivan on pole in the GTD category. But here's the question I want to know. Who's everybody cheering for this weekend? We got any Porsche fans in the house? BMW fans? How about those big ground-pounding V8s? Let's hear it for fans of Wayne Taylor Racing and Cadillac. And who's a fan of the new kid on the block? That's right, the Aston Martin. Who loves hearing that V12 on the streets of Long Beach? I think you're like me, folks. That's what I'm loving hearing here. But we've got plenty of action up and down the grid. This is our first sprint race of the season. We've obviously been out at Daytona. We've been out at Sebring. As I said, it's been victory mode for Team Penske. We have to see what plays out here with the BMWs looking strong back down in that GTD category. We've got a couple of heavy hitters. They're a little farther back down in the field. They'll hopefully be able to move their way back up. Thank you so much for joining us here this weekend. It's really fantastic to see all the fans here. We encourage you, get yourselves in the seats. We're going to be starting pre-race ceremonies. Recon Labs has started, and I see some pretty prototypes making their way to the grid. So race fans, give a big old hoot and holler. Let's hear it for your Ansel WeatherTech Sports Car Championship drivers and teams.
এখানে আসি সবগুলো এখানে এখানে আসি কেন স্টার্ট হচ্ছে
গাড়ি তাল করবো গাড়ি ঠিক করবো যে দেখো যে তাল ঢুকে হয়ে যাবে আসছে গরম
Alright, race fans, it's time for a full field rundown for your Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach and the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. Here is our 27-car grid, starting off in 27th position for Wayne Taylor Racing in the Lamborghini Huracan, Danny Formal. In 26th, in the Trearsi Competizione Ferrari, Sheena Monk. In 25th position for Gradient Racing in the Ford Mustang GT3, Jensen Holtzman. Moving on up into 24th for Inception Racing in the Ferrari 296, Brendan Uribe. 23rd in the second Lamborghini Huracan for Fortier Racing, it's Misha Koipfer. In 22nd position for AWA Racing in the first of our Chevrolet Corvettes, Jorge Fatani. Moving up into 21st for Korthoff Racing Motors in the Mercedes AMG, Seth Lucas. In 20th position for Wright Motorsports in the Porsche 911 GT3R, Adam Adelson. In 19th position for DXTT Racing in another Chevrolet Corvette, Robert Wickens. In 18th place for Windward Racing in the Mercedes AMG number 57, Russell Ward. In 17th place in the number 89 Vassar Sullivan Lexus, Frankie Montecarlo. In 17th position for Turner Motorsport in the number 96 BMW, Patrick Gallagher. In 15th place in the number 34 Ferrari 296 for Conquest Racing, Manny Franco. In 14th overall in the heart of racing, Aston Martin in the number 27, Tom Campbell. And in the front row in the 177 AO Racing Porsche 911, it's Johnny Edgar. Into your pole position for the GTD category in the number 12 Vassar Sullivan Racing Lexus, Parker Thompson. We move on into the GTP category. In 11th place place in the Aston Martin Heart of Racing, number 23, it's Ross Time. In 10th place in the number 40 Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac, Louis Delatraz. In 9th place in the number 85 GDC Miller Motorsports Porsche, Tiemann Penderhouse. In 8th place in the number 10 Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac, let's hear it for Philippe Albuquerque. In 7th place in the number 31 Cadillac Whelen Racing Machine, Jack Aitken. And in 6th place for Acura Meyer Shank Racing with Kerr Magacinian, it's Tom Blomqvist. In 5th place in the sister Acura Meyer Shank Racing Machine, it's the number 93 of Nick Yellowly. Moving on into row 2 in the number 6 Porsche Penske Motorsport, Matthew Chamonix. And in P3 in the number 7 Penske Porsche, Nick Tandy. On your front row in the number 25 BMW M-Team RLL Hybrid V8, let's hear it for Sheldon Pandalinda. And on your pole for BMW M-Team RLL in the Hybrid V8 number 24, Dries Vanthoor. Let's hear it again for your full 27 car field for the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. All right, race fans, we are pleased enough to be joined up here by your pole sitters in each class. First off, Dries Vanthoor. Dries, an amazing pole lap. How crucial is that going to be here at Long Beach?
Yeah, pretty crucial. First of all, hi everyone. Hope you're all having a nice day, and hopefully we can, have a nice race and give a nice show. First of all. Secondly, I think it's quite important, especially around here. It's a street track, old school. You can't really overtake, so track position is key. And I think starting first is a good position.
How much is strategy going to play into this race? We've seen it in the last couple of years that unorthodox strategy has been able to walk away with the win.
Yeah, I think there will be some things happening, some yellows, some safety cars, but yeah, as you mentioned, strategy will be important. We're just going to try to do our game and see if we can, disrupt some strategy things. But other than that, it's going to be a race like another, and just try to win.
All right, he's going to try to win from pole position. That again is your pole sitter in the GTP class, Dries Vanthoor. We're going to head right on over here to Parker Thompson. Parker, an amazing pole lap for you and the Vassar Sullivan team. You've got a little bit of a different proposition having to deal with these GTPs coming through. On a street track, how does that change your preparation for the race?
Well, the hard part's done. We're starting at the pointy end of the grid around here at Long Beach. That's the most important part. So I've got 35 of the toughest minutes, I would say, to start us. But honestly, our Lexus RCF is so fast around here. I'm just going to be focused on keeping it clean, making sure that we stay at the front, and then we'll hand it off to my man Jack Hawksworth there. And I think to get the job done, you wouldn't want a better guy than Jack. So it should be good.
It's a lot of confidence there in your team, a lot of confidence in your driver pairing. How is it driving in a car where you have to hand it off? Race car drivers notoriously selfish. Obviously, you've got to have a little bit of that competition to work together. How does that work for you?
Well, for sure. I'm an only child, so I didn't like sharing much growing up. So this whole idea of sharing a car is new, but I've been doing it with Lexus Racing and Vassar Sullivan for the last 3 years. There isn't a faster guy in a Lexus than Jack Hawksworth, so it's pretty easy to hand the car off to him when you know it's in good hands. I got to do my part, and then the pressure's on, big guy.
Oh, there it is, Jack. I hope you're listening. That is Parker Thompson, your pole sitter in the GTD category. Let's give it up one more time, race fans, for both of your pole sitters in the GTP and GTD class. Race fans, please welcome the president of the Grand Prix Association of Long Beach, Jim McCallion, for a few opening remarks.
Thank you very much, and welcome everybody to this really special weekend of racing here in Long Beach. You know, we're celebrating our 50th anniversary, and it really is something special. And I want to take a moment to thank all of you who've joined us on this journey, some for a few years, some of you for very, very many years, but we really do appreciate the support that you provided us. Look at the day, the sun is out now, right on time for the start of the IMSA race, and we're delighted. This is the showcase day for IMSA sports car racing here. It's really an attractive part of our weekend, and we're delighted that we can entertain our fans with 100-minute shootout here between prototypes and sports cars. I would also like to call your attention to the flyover we're going to have very soon here, and I want you to pay particular attention to the aircraft that are involved in that, because this weekend we're making a concerted effort to honor the first responders of the wildfires back in January here in Southern California. So pay attention to that, and then after that we get to have 100 minutes of great racing from the IMSA WeatherTech Challenge. So thank you all for coming out and celebrating our 50th anniversary. We certainly do appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jim McCallion, everyone. Guests here today. Captain Malcolm Diggs is from the LA County Fire Department and is serving as the Grand Marshal for today's race. But we'd also like to recognize him for something more. Diggs is a local hero in the community. He saved 2 lives during the devastating Palisades fire, and he is joined by one of those that he saves. Diggs went above and beyond the call of duty, rescuing Patty Phillips and her dog Coda from the dangerous fires early this year. Thank you so much for both being here today. We so appreciate it. And Captain Diggs, I want to turn to you. What does it mean to be reunited here with Patty today?
Well, it means everything. Having 30 years in the fire service, we don't always have a happy ending to the calls we go on. And to meet with Patty and to see that she's safe and her dog's safe and her home safe meant a lot to me and my family.
Meant a lot to us as well, and among unspeakable tragedy here in Los Angeles, we saw this city come together really like it never has before. What has that outpouring of support meant to you, and how have you felt it?
Well, the best thing about it is in the fire service and the police department, we have a thing that's happened recently that means no patches. It doesn't matter what agency or department you work for, we're all working together. And now we need to focus on rebuilding and going forward from there.
Thank you so very much, Patty, Captain Malcolm Dix. We are so honored to have you both here today. We are so appreciative. Thank you.